Commissioners' General Session. Today is November 27th, 2018. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Brown.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So this morning we're recognizing American Diabetes Month, and with us is Kathy Passion. Did I get that right? All right. Somebody put the spelling, how to say it on here. I'm telling myself here. The director of the Central Ohio Diabetes Association, an agency of Life Care Alliances since 2017. Welcome to the Franklin County Board of Commissioners. Please join us at the microphone.
Good morning.
Good morning, and thank you, Commissioners Boyce and Brown, and everyone who's here, and especially those of you in the audience as well who are able to hear more about what's going on for National Diabetes Awareness Month. First of all, thank you so much for allowing the Central Ohio Diabetes Association to speak with you today. And thank you for your proclamation in honor of National Diabetes Awareness Month. Again, I'm Kathy Passion, and I'm the director, goodness, of the Central Ohio Diabetes Association. CODA was founded by a group of local physicians in 1964. Our organization helps Ohioans living with diabetes detect their condition, prevent onset and complications, and learn to live well with the challenge of diabetes, because it is not something that goes away. It is something that you think about for the rest of your life. We provide education to adults with type 2 diabetes, as well as summer camps for children with type 1 diabetes. Since merging with Life Care Alliance in 2017, we're able to look forward to a long, healthy future for our services, our clients, and our community. All of the funding provided to CODA, and thank you so much for your generous funding to us, stays in the Ohio communities we serve to ensure folks living here have access to the best diabetes education and support possible. CODA is the only community-based organization providing diabetes education and services from a staff including a certified diabetes educator, nurses, social workers, dietitians, the whole gamut, whatever people need to help manage their diabetes. We offer the American Diabetes Association Certified Program, Diabetes Self-Management Education and Support, also known as DSMES. It is the gold standard when it comes to diabetes management education. Our summer camps for children, which you also generously provide funding for children with diabetes, are life-changing opportunities for all our campers. Not only do they learn and reinforce the best practices for managing their condition, they also make lifelong friends who are walking this journey with them. So many of our campers come to camp saying that they feel so alone in their communities. Our camp is primarily for children with type 1, which, as you may know, is only about 5% of the diabetes population. So it's a pretty small number. They make lifelong friends, and so many of them, when they're at camp, they say they're surrounded by people just like them, and it's such a pleasure to be around other people who understand what they're going through. People who are testing their blood sugar, counting carbs, and doing all the activities that are so important for them to stay as healthy as possible. Again, thank you so much for your generous support of CODA and all of our programs for type 1 and type 2, and we just look forward to continuing to serve the Franklin County population for hopefully another, 54 years. Thank you.
Well, I know you said some of these stats, but I felt they were important to read, and I always feel like, while this is not a part of our business agenda, I always feel like our guests are always really important in the work you do, and so we don't take that lightly, inviting you to come and talk about the importance of diabetes. But let me just read a few whereases from this resolution. I normally don't do this, but these are really important. In the United States, and I know you said some of these, but I'll repeat them. More than 30 million people, including close to 1.3 million in Ohio and almost 83,000 in Franklin County, have diabetes. Furthermore, an additional 86 million Americans are currently at risk of developing type 2 diabetes And recent estimates project that as many as 1 in 3 American adults will have diabetes by 2050. And so I just think this awareness and not prevention, but awareness and management of the disease is as important as anything. And so thank you so much for your work, and we're glad to be partners with you, and thank you for all you do in Central Ohio.
Kathy, if somebody is looking for resources about diabetes education or what you do, can you give a phone number or website?
614-884-4400. Google CODA, C-O-D-A. It might take you to COTA, but you'll know you're not looking for a bus. And then certainly our website is www.diabetesohio.org, and that will take you to where our resources are. I do want to say first and foremost, if you have any risk factors, this is National Diabetes Awareness Month. I ask you to go find out what your A1C is, ask your doctor to do that test specifically for you, and then find out what your endocrinologist suggests for you in terms of managing your condition. It's serious. It's very serious. Type 1, of course, is the autoimmune version. It comes on instantly, and you are immediately insulin dependent. Type 2 can take longer to show the manifestations and the complications, and sometimes it's not taken as seriously, and it needs to be.
Yeah.
It should also be noted that diabetes is, minorities, and particularly African Americans, are at higher risk of developing diabetes.
Right.
And so this is also something I know in the African American community that is being promoted and talked about more for management and treatment as well. So thank you for your advocacy.
Thank you so much.
We'd like to present you with a resolution.
Thank you. This is a wonderful way to end it. Yeah. Thank you.
I will say, I'm so looking forward to the end of November so I can shave this beard now. It's getting rough now. Every day I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta shave this thing. I see the engineer, his beard is looking great. You know, his wife tells him he needs to get rid of it, but he's holding strong with it, you know. All right, first, is there a motion to approve the minutes of September 18th, October 16th, October 30th, 2018 general session, and the minutes of October 4th, 2018 briefing session?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
The minutes have been approved.
Thank you. Auditor's office.
Resolution number 800-18. Resolution approving 10 contract extensions for mediation services in the amount of $175,000.
Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Alan Orland, Director of Real Estate with the Auditor's Office, and with me this morning is Ryan Katz, our Chief Counsel. We are here before you today respectfully asking for passage of this resolution about the renewal of mediation contract for the Board of Revision. As you may recall, Commissioners, last year you approved this contract for a total of $175,000 in order to help the board resolve quickly and efficiently our taxpayers' filings. This mediation program has been instrumental in accomplishing that goal. This year alone, we mediated close to 3,000 cases, and to the satisfaction of our taxpayers. And next year, we are expecting approximately the same number of filings that could be eligible for mediation. We've been working with the County Purchasing Department throughout the renewal process. And it's also worth mentioning that not only does this program help resolve cases quickly and efficiently, it also helps prevent any backlogs at the board. mediation, as you know, are conducted over the phone. It's convenient to the taxpayers, it's time saving. But more importantly, taxpayers have a direct participation or an impact, if you will, on the valuation process. So with that, commissioners, we really appreciate your continued consideration for this program, and thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you.
So, so I'm gonna ask, I'm curious, why 10 contracts? I mean, it seems like such a small amount to spread up across so many different entities.
No, we have 10 mediators, and pretty much we've been distributing those cases equally amongst the mediators, and they've been helping us mediate those cases, and pretty much that's since the very beginning that we always have 10 mediators with us in that program.
Okay.
I'll move for passage of 818.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 800-18 has been adopted.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Emergency Management Agency.
Resolution number 801-18, resolution authorizing the adoption of the Franklin County Natural Hazards Mitigation Plan.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Jeff Young, representing Franklin County Emergency Management and Homeland Security. Give me 1 second here. Before you is a resolution to adopt the updated Franklin County Pre-Disaster Mitigation Plan. As the cost of natural disasters continue to rise, FEMA has implemented programs to identify effective ways for local governments to reduce their vulnerability from disasters. With FEMA grant assistance, Franklin County Emergency Management and Homeland Security has been able to coordinate the creation of a natural hazards mitigation plan to assist communities in reducing their risk. This plan is used as a tool to develop local strategies for risk reduction and to serve as a guide for mitigation activities throughout the county. In order to be in compliance with the Federal Disaster Mitigation Act of 2000 and the regulation of Title 44 of the Code of Federal Regulations, Section 201.6, Franklin County Emergency Management and Homeland Security began developing an initial county plan in 2005. This plan was adopted in 2007 and updated again in 2012. To remain in compliance with the Disaster Mitigation Act, the local county plan is required to be periodically updated and readopted by resolution. In 2017, Franklin County Emergency Management and Homeland Security began the process to update the plan with the assistance of a third-party vendor, hired through a grant funding from FEMA. The contractor facilitated input from local government as well as the public, held educational workshops, and compiled the plan documentation. This input and education involved all Franklin County jurisdictional officials or their designees, as well as soliciting the general public to attend workshops. These workshops were held to both educate the public about natural hazards and mitigation strategies, as well as to solicit their input. For the first time, we also leveraged social media and community-based organizations to make available an online survey tool. I'm pleased to report that we received survey responses from over 2,000 residents representing 40 of the 41 individual jurisdictions within Franklin County. This valuable input is documented within the plan. While the adoption of the plan does not commit or require local jurisdictions to undertake any specific project, it does outline a variety of potential projects within jurisdictions. These projects range from increasing the outdoor siren system throughout the county to voluntary acquisition of repetitive flood loss properties, restoring that property to green space. An example is Prairie Township, which is currently undertaking such a project with final application to Ohio EMA and FEMA within the next several weeks. In addition to the basic benefit of understanding our local hazards, risk mitigation strategies having a FEMA-approved and adopted plan ensures Franklin County remains eligible for pre- and post-disaster federal funds administered by the state of Ohio on behalf of the Federal Emergency Management Agency. Once the resolution is finally adopted and the plan is blessed by FEMA Region 5 in Chicago, we will be posting all 691 pages of that plan on our website. I won't go through them today to your benefit.
Is there an executive
Is
summary?
there a
as well?
summary?
It starts with an
Like a
executive
10 bullet
summary.
point, kind of a.
I will make a plug, though, that it
Yeah.
does provide a good basis for a lot of documentation and statistical data, both on flood risk, flood zones, as well as our history, and encompasses our countywide hazards identifications plan and ranking. So I'll gladly answer any questions and ask for your adoption of the 2018 updated Franklin County pre-disaster mitigation plan.
Is there a printed version that's produced in this, or is
There-
it just pretty much online?
There will be a, once FEMA does theirs and all of the jurisdictions complete the resolution process, the contractor will be providing a volume or a quantity of printed versions as part of their contract. Obviously, we will distribute that as appropriate, both to different county agencies as well as each jurisdiction. I suspect that most would like the electronic version or just to be able to access it online.
Will the commissioners get one?
Yes, you will.
That'd be great. And I say this is one of those things where you don't think much about it until something happens.
Until there's an
Yeah,
emergency,
and something
yeah.
will happen at some point. And I've been around long enough to see it, and then knowing and understanding how our system is set up and what happens is really important. And so, so I don't take that lightly, and we'll actually read it. I like the hard copy because I can take my time and write
I
in it and all that
understand.
stuff. But that's important work. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good.
Thank you, Director Young. I'll move for approval of 80118.
Second.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 801-18 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Drainage engineer, or bearded drainage engineer.
Resolution number 802-18, resolution approving a ditch maintenance petition for villages at Jefferson Run, Phase 6, Jefferson Township, Franklin County, Ohio.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Morning.
My name is Cornell Robertson, Franklin County Drainage Engineer and Franklin County Engineer. With me today are my beard and
Carla Marable.
Commissioners, this first resolution is for a subdivision in the southeast part of the county in Jefferson Township. It's east of Wagner Road and south of Havens Corners Road. The storm sewers have been installed and are ready to be added to the county ditch maintenance program.
I'll move approval of 80218.
I just want to add, I had the
You want
wonderful
to visit?
experience
Yeah.
with the drainage ditch experience that we had last week. And it was so great to walk in the ditch area.
What did you learn?
As provided by the required by the Ohio Revised Code. I will say though, that I was saying this to our government affairs person, Lauren. I was saying that the drone footage was actually better
Yeah.
in terms of understanding the layout and the issues than even walking the site.
Right.
You know, because when the presentation was given, it really allowed you to sort of get what was going on, the drainage issues, how the topography was set up, and when you're there, you can't. You know, we're like standing in a swamp,
Walking in the
basically.
mud.
And then different small groups as well, whereas in a room to look at the drone footage and hear a presentation, then
Yeah.
we can all sort of have the same conversation.
Right,
Yeah.
which I think makes sense. And I know CCAO is pushing for technology use
Mhm.
in these, in the future, so.
And our government affairs person is gonna, you know, Franklin County, we're starting to lead our own, public policy requests at the legislative level. And this is one of those things that we wanna work with your office on
Okay.
as we push forward so we can come up with the right thing.
Yeah.
So we can do a better job, so.
Utilize technology.
Absolutely.
Nice.
I'll move approval of 80218.
Second.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 802-18 has been adopted. Resolution number 803-18, resolution authorizing settlements of utility providers for damaged claims due to equipment accidents involving Franklin County Engineers Office employees in amount of $3,777.97.
Commissioners, while performing routine maintenance of the right-of-way, Franklin County engineer employees damaged various utility equipment. There were no injuries reported. We've worked closely with the prosecutor's office, and they have approved the settlement. The prosecutor has recommended a total settlement in the amount of $3,777.97.
I'll move for approval of 80318.
Second.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 803-18 has been adopted. Resolution number 804-18, approval of the Villages at Jefferson Run Phase 6 subdivision plat, Jefferson Township, Franklin County, Ohio.
Commissioners, this resolution is for the previously mentioned subdivision in Jefferson Township. This resolution is specifically for the plat, and it is ready to be assigned and approved by you if you see fit.
Great. I'll move approval of 80418.
Second.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 804-18 has been adopted.
Thank you very much.
Recorder's Office.
Resolution number 805-18, resolution authorizing the set aside for the Recorder's Technology Fund for calendar year 2018.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Melissa Messina, Chief of Staff for County Recorder, and Javier Gonzalez, our Fiscal Administrator. So again, this morning, as the resolution was we presented a few weeks ago at the hearing, it's for the continuation of the $4 set aside into the Technology Fund. It's just a continuation from this current year's, and we also, it's to ensure that our technology, we can keep up with the technological advances of not only the Recorder's Office, but the Document Imaging Center as well, which is responsible for microfilming all of our important permanent records. We also, in this process, had submitted a new 3-year capital plan to attach to support the request. And I also wanted to make sure you knew, I know this year it sunsets. The sunset provision is over this year in the ORC. The Ohio Recorders Association is working on continuing the mandate. So just look for that in the coming months, maybe.
Can you talk a little bit more about what that would do?
The mandate. So
And
currently,
continuing the mandate.
right. So there's the way the law is written currently, and that expires this year. Is there's not, when we ask for it, you have to give it to us, whereas before, prior to that piece of legislation and that wording in the legislature, it was more of an option. The smaller counties, it affects the smaller counties more so than a large county like Franklin, to where they wanted it to be mandated that they couldn't be told no, that they needed it because their funding is much different than ours here in Franklin County. So
this is for the technology piece
technologies,
of things
correct.
only. That
Correct.
the
It's only to be
recorders is-
used for technology. So in order to ensure that scanning and records are put in the proper format and can be put online, a lot of counties still don't have their records online, which in a county like Franklin is crazy to think, but there are many counties who don't. So that was where the incentive is, and that's where the thought process is for the legislation, and we can potentially see that the legislation, they're trying to then get it also a level of it mandated again, so these smaller counties can continue to have it. So look for that to happen. They're working really hard. They tried to do it last year. It didn't get done, but they're trying again. The Recorders Association is trying to push it again. So, but regardless, $4 does help us and keep our technology advanced, and especially our microfilming efforts for the entire county. So, if there's no other questions, I also just like to thank OMB and Kalia for all her help. And pending any questions, we request your passage of the resolution.
A move for passage of 80518.
Second.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 805-18 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sheriff's.
Resolution number 806-18, resolution authorizing a settlement to Christy Turner for a disputed vehicle damage claim due to an auto accident involving Franklin County Sheriff's Deputy in the amount of $694.39.
Good morning, Commissioners. Dave Masterson, Director of Administrative Services for Sheriff Baldwin. This resolution does approve a settlement of a vehicle damage claim from an accident that occurred on September 18th of this year. It's been recommended by the prosecutor and county fleet management. It offers payment in the amount of $694.39 to settle the claim, and pending any questions, I ask approval of this resolution.
I'll move approval of 80618.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 806-18 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Treasurer.
Resolution number 807-18, resolution authorizing a contract with Mapsys, Inc. to provide requested enhancements to the Franklin County Treasurer application in the amount of $47,960.
Morning, Commissioners. Rosa Barker, IT Director for Franklin County Treasurer, Cheryl Brooks Sullivan. And with me, I have Mary Montgomery, our Budget and Purchasing Coordinator.
Morning.
Good morning. This morning, we're requesting the approval of even yet another technology advancement for our Franklin County Treasurer system. This one is to integrate with our current payment provider, Point and Pay, to provide us the credit card option at our windows and cashiers. Currently, all our taxpayers can pay their taxes via credit card online, but until now, we weren't able to provide that service internally. We've been waiting very carefully to make sure it's a secured and trusted environment before we proceed with that environment. So we're requesting the approval of the development that needs to be done in order to integrate with our Franklin County Treasurer system to develop that and make that efficiently completed.
Makes sense. I'll move approval of 80718.
Before we vote, I just wanted to say, recognize Treasurer Brooks Sullivan for Mrs. a people kind of resource. It seems like it's something internal, but it really makes it more convenient for the public. I just want to recognize and thanks Treasurer Brooks Sullivan for bringing this forward. It seems like a little thing, but it's a big thing. So congratulations. Thank you.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 807-18 has been adopted.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Franklin County Children's Services.
Resolution number 808-18, resolution authorizing a transfer of non-general fund appropriations related to capital expenses.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Alice Maddox, CFO for Children's Services, and we are requesting this morning a transfer between our material and supplies roll-up category and our capital roll-up. This does not increase the bottom line of our budget, but there are some expenditures that we did not anticipate for this year. We needed to expand our data capacity in our IT system. And at the same time, we are upgrading our on-base so that we can manage the data within our systems more efficiently. And we're working with the state of Ohio on a project to manage data in a more effective way and have access to that data across systems. We also needed to replace some copiers, and we are converting some temporary office space into permanent office space.
Okay, I'll move for approval of 80818.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 808-18 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
JFS.
Resolution number 809-18, resolution approving a subaward agreement with the Center for Healthy Families, Inc. for teen parenting and pregnancy prevention services in the amount of $290,000.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Morning.
Commissioners. Joy Bivens, Director of Franklin County Job and Family Services.
Charles Noble, Job and Family Services. The Center for Healthy Families has provided coaching and support to move more than 1,100 teen families in Franklin County towards economic self-sufficiency since 2009. Our agency has funded their Parent Education Support Group, a community and school-based program for teen mothers and fathers for the past 5 years. The program, which is offered in Briggs, Independence, Walnut Ridge, and West High Schools, as well as the center's High Street location, provides teens with individualized planning with goals of 1, delivering healthy babies, 2, increasing knowledge and safe sleep practices, 3, delaying subsequent pregnancies and promoting safe spacing, and 4, helping them make the successful transition of parenthood while also completing their education. We know that age and educational attainment can have significant influence on birth outcomes. 2017 report from the Center for Community Solutions reaffirmed that teen mothers have the highest rate of poor birth outcomes in Ohio. Over the last contract, CHF reported more than 90% of the teens in the program gave birth to healthy babies, and 72% of the teens in the program graduated. And 90% of the teens or 90% of the participants delayed a subsequent pregnancy. CHF plans to serve more than an estimated 50 to 70 pregnant and parenting teens over the course of this next contract. Pending any questions, I ask for approval of this resolution.
I'll move approval of 80918.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 809-18 has been adopted. Resolution number 810-18, resolution approving a contract with Access to Interpreters LLC for the interpretation and translation services in the amount of $2 million.
Commissioners, over the past several decades, Franklin County's new American population has grown significantly. Under Title VI of the Civil Rights Act, our agency is mandated to provide meaningful access to our programs to limited English proficiency customers. We have contracted with an outside provider to meet those federal requirements and released our most recent request for proposal in July of 2016. Access to Interpreters was awarded that contract through a competitive bid process for a one-year term with options to extend the agreement by 2 additional one-year terms. This resolution would authorize the second of those one-year options. Access to Interpreter staff provides over 3,600 hours of interpretation services to our customers in a given month. Whether that is on-site through scheduled face-to-face interviews and hearings or over phone calls, they are well-versed in the different areas of our agency. Throughout the year, our agency has moved to more scheduled telephone services for customers given the systems conversion. And with this change in business practices, telephone scheduled interpretation services are expected to increase in the upcoming program period, and their new budget reflects this. In addition to providing increased capacity, Access to Interpreters will also conduct twice annual training sessions with staff at each of our opportunity centers. And basically this training is designed to help our staff with increased cultural competency, understanding sort of some of the nuances that we have with customers with limited English proficiency. Pending any questions, I ask for approval of this resolution.
And Commissioner, I just want to make mention just really quick regarding this contract. As you all know, we went into the Ohio Benefits system this year. With going into that system, since the metros primarily are the largest communities who have new American citizens, immigrants that live in our communities, this system was not tailored, I believe, to assist in assisting these customers to the capacity that we could. So we increased this contract by $371,881.13.
With our systems online, I know that people can use interpretation services that are online to get information. Does Access to Interpreters also do some online?
So they assist with the navigation of that, absolutely. But the system at this point does not have the capacity to do that. That's something that we're having conversation with the state of Ohio, both Ohio Medicaid and the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services.
As we get more diverse in our residency here in the county, I would think that would be an issue.
Right.
So, thank you. I'll move for approval of 81018.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 810-18 has been adopted. Resolution number 811-18, resolution approving a subaward agreement with Action for Children for quality early learning program services in the amount of $300,000.
Commissioners, under this agreement, Action for Children will provide recruitment, training, and ongoing technical assistance for individuals looking to become state-licensed family child care providers. In addition to providing mandatory core training classes to obtain a license, Action for Children will also offer training and technical assistance to providers pursuing the Step Up to Quality STAR rating. During the last contract period, Action for Children provided 40 training sessions in the areas of basic health and safety, child abuse prevention, and CPR for home providers. They also helped 45 providers renew or increase their current STAR rating and secured Step Up to Quality commitments from 124 providers. Under the new contract, Action for Children plans to secure 60 Step Up to Quality commitments, ensure 50 home providers register for a STAR rating, and ensure 40 home providers renew or increase their rating, in addition to providing individualized technical assistance. Pending any questions, I ask for approval of this resolution.
I'll move for approval of 81118.
Second.
Moved in second in voting, Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce. Resolution number 811-18 has been adopted. Resolution number 812-18, resolution approving a subaward agreement with Action for Children for Quality Early Learning Program Services in the amount of $130,000.
Thank you. This resolution would continue our contractual relationship as the with Action for Children as our resource and referral agency for families searching for quality early learning programs who are also eligible for publicly funded childcare. Under the terms of this agreement, Action for Children will continue to maintain and update its database of all early learning programs and openings across the county. They will also provide pre-screenings and link up to 550 families with high-quality early childhood education programs and provide information and referrals for approximately 200 Ohio Works First cash assistance customers. Pending any questions, I ask for approval of this resolution.
Move approval of 812-18.
Second.
Moved in second in voting, Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 812-18 has been adopted. Resolution number 813-18, resolution approving a subaward agreement with Columbus Urban League for the Transitions Program in the amount of $265,000.
So this is a great contract resolution that we have provided today. We understand that returning citizens or restored citizens in Columbus, Ohio, Franklin County face a myriad of barriers transitioning back into the community after incarceration. Obtaining employment is one of the most daunting challenges. Restored citizens often lack the training and soft skills or other resources that are necessary to help them promote growth in their particular spheres of influence. However, research from the Manhattan Institute has confirmed that employment is a key factor in reducing recidivism rates. And the sooner we can help restored citizens find stable employment, that recidivism rate decreases. The Columbus Urban League's transition programs target some of the hardest to serve, chronically and underemployed restored citizens. Their curriculum includes employability skills like conflict resolution, computer literacy, and interviewing techniques on top of individualized job placement and retention assistance. The Urban League also works with community partners to offer vocational certification, training opportunities, and more. Over the term of our last contract, nearly a third of transitions participants have obtained employment. The Columbus Urban League will target approximately 75 to 85 underemployed restored citizens for the program over the course of next year. We understand that going to being incarcerated has significant impacts on employment opportunities for those folks. It also has, it also really disrupts a lot of the family dynamic at home if there are children as well.
Definitely.
And so I think from a holistic perspective, you know, really working around employment with restored citizens is an incredible opportunity to continue to build, you know, foundational elements for folks in our community. So pending any questions, I ask for approval of this resolution.
Is this program coordinating with our justice policy and reentry groups?
So Commissioner, to answer that question, at this moment, I will say that the Columbus Urban League is aware of our justice policy. I will check in with them today to verify that information and get back with you.
Thank you. Because I think that coordination among our agencies as well as with the Urban League
Yeah.
and other agencies that do this work is going to become more of an issue.
I know we make referrals, but I don't know if
Right.
the referrals are coming from directly from that particular office. So I'll verify that today.
Thank you. I'll move approval of 813-18.
Second.
Moved in second in voting, Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 813-18 has been adopted. Resolution number 814-18, resolution approving a subaward agreement with the Educational Service Center of Central Ohio on behalf of Franklin County Family and Children First Council for trauma-informed care programming in the amount of $1,388,000.
There's a great deal of research surrounding the impact of traumatic adverse childhood experiences, otherwise known as ACEs. And the Centers for Disease Control has determined that they can inhibit the development of executive functioning skills in youth, which can lead to long-term medical, mental health, and behavioral implications. This resolution would continue to fund the Franklin County Family and Children First Council Building Better Lives initiative. Building Better Lives is based on the nationally recognized neurosequential model in education, which helps educators and other support professionals better understand the impact of ACEs on youth brain development and design and apply appropriate trauma-informed interventions for at-risk students. Each school will have access to a NME coach, a wraparound service coordinator, and a trained therapist. Preliminary data from the first year of programming has noted a reduction in behavioral incidents and a decrease in the amount of time spent in out-of-school and in-school suspensions. Under the second year, Building Better Lives will continue to provide programming in Columbus City Schools' Near East feeder pattern and Whitehall City Schools. FCFC will also look to partner with other youth-serving organizations to provide their staff with trauma-informed training. I wish that we had 1 million more of these contracts. You know, the work around ACEs and trauma-informed care, building resiliency is absolutely exceptional work. Pending any questions, I ask for approval of this resolution.
I'll move for passage of 81418.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 814-18 has been adopted. Resolution number 815-18, resolution approving a subaward agreement with the Godman Guild Association for workforce development services in the amount of $104,000.
Commissioners, Godman Guild is one of our community partners housed in the Reeb Center, Reeb Avenue Center on the south side. They offer a variety of workforce programs tailored to meet individuals, from individual employment case management, which targets residents who already have job skills and stable work histories, to pathways to work, which targets hard-to-employ, disengaged individuals with the greatest barriers. Godman Guild also offers the Work Career Bridges program that train participants with the high level of work readiness to earn Child Development Associate certificates or enter into full-time healthcare support positions, including environmental services and patient support. Over the past contract, Godman Guild has placed customers at work sites such as Roots Cafe, Nationwide Children's Hospital, and Heil Health. As you remember at the Poverty Steering Committee, one of our business leaders talked about the Ohio Health Program. I wanted to make mention that through that program and those placement, those dollars are approved by you, and it has been for, I believe, the last few years, during the last couple of years. During the last placement, customers received an ongoing intensive retention and supportive services, career coaching, and additional bear removal. An estimated 50 to 75 of eligible individuals will receive long-term intensive workforce support services. Pending any questions, I would ask for your approval of this resolution.
Move approval of 81518.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 815-18 has been adopted. Resolution number 816-18, resolution approving a subaward agreement with the Mid-Ohio Food Bank for the purchase and distribution of food to Franklin County soup kitchens, food pantries, and emergency shelters in the amount of $100,000.
Commissioners, Operation Feed is a community-wide drive to help recognize Mid-Ohio Food Bank's vision of hunger-free, healthier Franklin County. About 1 in 6 Franklin County residents and a quarter of all children are food insecure. Over the last contract period, Mid-Ohio Food Bank distributed over 65 million pounds of food and groceries. That's enough to provide more than 130 meals per day in total, in roughly 290,000 Franklin County adults and children, seniors each year. The agreement would support and purchase distribution of an estimated 600,000 meals for eligible low-income Franklin County residents. Pending any questions, I would ask for your approval of this resolution.
Move approval of 81618.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 816-18 has been adopted. Resolution number 817-18, resolution approving a subaward agreement with the National Alliance on Mental Illness, Franklin County, for the Franklin County Youth Council in the amount of $65,000.
Commissioners, Franklin County Youth Council was created in 2016 as a response to President Obama's challenge for communities to engage young people in conversations addressing mental health awareness. The Youth Council is made up of 40 high school students who represent Franklin County's diverse communities and constituencies, including those from immigrant communities, LGBTQ, and TANF-eligible youth, as well as those involved in children's services or the juvenile justice system. Council members are expected to serve at least 1-year term and meet twice a month, in addition to volunteering at various community service activities, meeting in local officials, and planning youth dialogues, and more. The United Way of Central Ohio had served as a fiduciary agent for the last since 2016, but due to changes in their strategic focus, NAMI will step in and be the fiduciary agent for this initiative. Pending any questions, I would ask for your approval of this resolution.
I'll move for approval of 8/17/18.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 817-18 has been adopted. Resolution number 818-18, resolution approving a subaward agreement with Ohio Association of Food Banks for employment training and services in the amount of $600,000.
Commissioners, in Ohio, able-bodied adults without dependents are required to comply with federal work requirements for food assistance, employment, and training programs in order to receive food assistance and benefits. Over the past 4 years, our agency has contracted with the Ohio Association of Food Banks to coordinate and manage allowable work activities under the FAYED Work Experience Program. Over the last contract period, OAF served over 1,700 referrals to Franklin County Department of Job and Family Services. And please keep in mind, these are non-paid work experiences. They're a requirement, again, of the federal regulations for individuals to receive their food assistance and cash assistance as well. Pending any questions, I would ask for your approval of this resolution.
I'll move for passage of 8/18/18.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 818-18 has been adopted. Resolution number 819-18, resolution approving a subaward agreement with Partners Achieving Community Transformation, doing business as PAC, for educational programming and parent support services in the amount of $140,000.
Commissioners, this PACT is a collaborative partnership with The Ohio State University, Columbus Metropolitan Housing Authority, City of Columbus, and stakeholders who are taking a holistic approach to community development on the east side. We have guests here from the Health Science Academy, Ms. T Street, along with Principal Stephanie Bland. Before I go into their resolution, I would ask your permission to allow them to come share with us the good work that they're doing in this initiative.
Please come forward.
Good morning.
Morning.
Hello, I'm Mrs. Scott, Melissa Scott, I'm sorry. I'm their science teacher, and I've been their science teacher. This is my second year because we looped with them. And before they even begin, I just wanted to tell you how appreciative I am of this funding, because science, having the money to do the activities and things, it's very helpful. I wish I had more experience before I started my degree in zoology. It would have helped me. And so I'm thankful these kids are getting this. And right now, they're going to show you what we're doing in class right now with energy.
Wonderful.
In 1 minute? Oh, sorry.
Good morning.
President Boyce, Commissioner Brown, Commissioner O'Grady, thank you so much for the opportunity to be here today. I'm T Street with PACT and the Ohio State University. We wanted to be here today. Mrs. Bland and myself wanted to be here today to thank you once again. But we also wanted to report, people do a lot of the touchy-feely stuff, but we want to give you some really hard data. When we started the Health Sciences Academies 3 years ago, we just completed our third year. When we started the Health Sciences Academy, all 7 of our schools were in priority status. And for people who don't know, that means that they were in the lowest 5% in the state of Ohio. This past year, 3 of our schools moved out of priority status. One of them moved to Ohio Avenue, moved to independent status. Champion Middle School, who, if you will remember, a few years ago showed up in U.S. News and World Reports as the worst middle school in Columbus, moved out of priority status this year. And East Columbus Elementary School moved out of priority status. This is, for us, a demonstration of what happens when we all come together and coalesce all of our resources, both our fiscal, but also our human resources, around our young people for the development of who they are to become. And so we wanted to be here today to give you some good news that wasn't just a demonstration for you, but to tell you that the dollars that you have invested in the Health Sciences Academies has made an academic difference in our young people, because what we know is that children who are low income and children of color tend to be kinesthetic learners, meaning they have to see, feel, and touch what they are learning, and it has to be relevant for them. And your resources bring health sciences to life. So we just wanted to come today to bring you good news and to thank you on behalf of the Health Sciences Academies of Columbus City Schools. This is Mrs. Stephanie Bland, and she is the principal of Champion Middle School.
I was just say, for those who don't know, that's not Miss Street's real voice. So she got something going on there, so I hope you feel better.
So when I leave you all today, I'm going home and going back to bed.
Good, you should.
The amazing T Street's voice is
That's not the voice we know.
not the voice.
Of course
today.
not. Good morning, all.
Morning.
Just to follow up what Ms. Street said, this year has been phenomenal for us. When we received the news from Ohio Department of Education that our school had moved out of priority status, we absolutely had a huge school-wide celebration because since the beginning of No Child Left Behind, Champion Middle School has always been in whatever the lowest status was, what I call the graveyard. We have arisen. And it is because of the dollars that you put behind our students and our staff so that they could continue to do the work and prepare these students for their future. That's our future as well. So I want to thank you. There are not enough thank yous for the dollars that you have put behind these students and these teachers so that we can bring curriculum to life off the page. This right here, I've had this young lady with me for a long time. I was able to convince her to leave another school that I was principal at and to come to Champion Middle School to teach science for our students. And she said, Mrs. Bland, are you serious? Yes, ma'am. And so she's been there now for what, 4 years?
This is my third.
Your third year? And so we're going to allow our students to demonstrate some of the work that they have done.
Okay, they're studying energy and first was force of motion, now they're on energy. So they're going to show you what we've been doing for elastic potential energy, and they're going to demonstrate their activities for you.
Would you like to introduce yourself?
Oh, I am sorry.
No.
My name is Grace.
And what year are you in, Grace?
8th.
Okay.
Angie Lowry.
My name is Cameron Crack, and I'm also in the 8th.
Great. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, you can pull that
you
mic
take
off.
that mic
You
off.
Take that mic off.
We've been working with elastic potential energy in class. We started off with the rubber band shooters, which we put the caps on and we shot them across the table and seen how far they went.
And we graphed how far they went. And like when it was at the 1 centimeter, it had the least elastic potential energy. And when we moved on to like 2 and 3, the elastic potential energy started to grow more, and the numbers started to increase however many times like we did it.
Am I allowed to give you guys a demonstration?
Sure.
Please do.
Should we all watch out?
Pretty much go straight.
Except for today.
Oh, that's an eye popper.
We did stuff like that, but we didn't get graded for that. We got in trouble for that. Yeah, we got in trouble for that. That's awesome.
So.
Yeah.
doing
Aim it a little to your right.
an exercise like this, what are you getting from that helps?
We're learning how much elastic potential energy it takes to make more kinetic energy. So, the 1 centimeter mark on here, it has not as much elastic potential energy because you're not stretching the rubber band as far as you would at the 3 centimeter mark. Next, we're doing origami frogs and seeing how far they jump. And we also did extra folds because more spring, it compresses more with it. It also tends to jump higher. It's a lot farther than all the other frogs went.
So the additional folds in the origami do what for it?
When we compress and then let it go, it has more elastic potential energy, which causes it to jump higher, which gives it more kinetic energy, and then eventually more gravitational potential energy, and so on.
So is that what you remember learning in school?
No.
And lastly, we got catapults.
Oh, no, this is gonna be cool. I remember learning this in school. Well, I remember doing this in school.
You did.
I remember being taught this for a grade.
It wasn't in your science
Yeah,
class.
this was not what I was taught for a grade.
Okay, here we added the payload into the bucket. Grace, yours.
The bead is the payload, and the base, well, this part holds helps keep the base down so that it won't fly away. And we didn't have any rubber bands, so I figured, because I made 2 designs, and I made one of them the arm shorter and the one longer, and I did both of them, tested both of them, and the one with the longer arm went farther than the one with the shorter arm.
The reason for that being is because it had more elastic potential energy.
Oh, I made a lot of catapults.
You seen with the one with the longer arm, it went way farther than the one with the shorter one.
They get a slingshot out and I know
What would you do with it?
I'd get an A.
But when they're allowed to do hands-on like this, it brings it to life for them. And we started with the very basic one, then we moved on the frogs, which they had to change. And then they were given information about the catapults, and they had to build them themselves. That's why Grace said she's already done 2, and this is just their first trial. So they'll be adding to it too and changing them.
You know, the practical science lessons, I think, make a big difference for some kids, and I think it's well worth the investment that we make to help kids who learn by doing and seeing what they can do. Those techniques, those really physical science rules follow, and you know, when we learn them in the time I was in school, it was all very much book taught and didn't come to life at all. And I think with the way kids are learning and our knowledge of that, I think it makes more sense to do the practical lessons.
You're 13 years old, and you have a better understanding, or 14 years old, and you have a better understanding of elastic kinetic potential than I do at 54, you know, and I learned it when I was your age, but I didn't understand it nearly the way you do. And so you have hands-on, first-hand knowledge of, and understanding of a science that I had a hard time grasping at your age. I understand it better today, learning it from you, than I ever did back as a 13 or 14-year-old kid, because I learned it out of a book and didn't really grasp it at your age. And you showed me today what I didn't get back then. I knew how to play with a catapult, but I didn't really get what elastic kinetic potential was, you know, back then. And I, you know, and so you taught me today.
Commissioners, I just also want to note for the record that when you look at the ACT scores of Columbus City School kids, the lowest area is science. Consistently, it's science. And when you go into most of our schools, you'll see that it's taught out of a book. Yeah. Our kids don't have labs. They don't have those. I walked in on a 5th grade class at Eastgate a couple weeks ago. I was doing a tour for one of the doctors at Ohio State. We came in on this 5th grade class. All the kids had on their lab coats. They had on goggles, and they were doing a dissection. And he asked them, what were they looking at? And they said, we're looking at the contents of an owl's stomach. And so he said, well, what do you think that is that you found? And they said, we think that it's the skull of a rodent. Now, me, I'm grossed out by the whole thing. And I'm watching, though, with fascination. And this 5th grader is explaining to him why. And he said, well, why do you think it's a rodent? And he said, when we studied what an owl eats, it said that primarily they eat other birds and rodents. And this skull is clearly too small to be that of a bird. So it must be that of a rodent. That was a 5th grader with deductive reasoning that I sometimes don't have as an adult. But as it's coming to life, you'll see this team of kids, this grade level of kids at Champion Middle School last year had more than 2 years of growth in reading and math. For consistently, this team at Champion is doing an outstanding job. But I would say all across the health sciences academies, we're seeing growth and movement. Just a few years ago, Trevitt Elementary School, there was an article in the Dispatch that said only 12% of the kids passed the 3rd grade guarantee. At the end of this past year, it was 52%. I'm not a mathematician, but I can add and I can subtract, and that's growth for me. And so I just wanted to, once again, on behalf of PACT and the Ohio State University and Columbus City Schools, come before you again, thanking you for your support.
Thank you. And I would just add and point out, first of all, to the young ladies, let's give them a round of applause for the demonstration. Now get back to school, because that's where you should be, you know. Just kidding. But I want to point out to Director Bivens, thank you so much for the demonstration, because often we spend dollars and we know these programs work, and I appreciate T Street's illustration of the data around what the impact works. That always matters, because that's how we evaluate things. But there's nothing more demonstrative of the value of these investments than seeing the young people get it, and seeing young women get it at a school that faces a lot of challenges as a community. And so I think this, to me, shows how this is what you don't get to see every day as an elected official, because we get so much coming at us and we're spending so much money doing so many big things. But this is the kind of thing that really matters, and it makes you feel good to know that we're investing in things that matter and make the difference, even if incremental, based on the growth that you've had. But that's really strong and positive information for us to know, and we've got to continue this investment. Absolutely. So thank you for deviating a little from the normal demonstration of data thrown at us and saying, here's all this data is great, but here's what's really going on. And so we appreciate and value these young ladies coming and doing such a wonderful demonstration of your skills and talents. And I want to encourage you to wear those white coats for a long time through your education. Yes. Okay.
And Commissioner, if I can just really quick, you know, I want you all as commissioners to really, and I know you do, with the Building Better Lives, which is the ACES work that we partner with FCFC. You approve dollars to go into this community. With Parent University, which we're teaching parents how to become better partners with their district and how to be better advocates so they can help their children in school, which T Street oversees that program. The Health Science Academy. All those dollars are layered in that one community. So when we talk about poverty and poverty work, these are models that we can uplift and root into other communities to assist other students. Because I believe that this is one of the programs, when you talk about experience, there are some children who only see doctors on TV.
Right.
They're touching doctors' hands, having conversation with physicians. That seems to us, oh, that's just nothing. I know Bob, he's a doctor. Some students don't get that opportunity. So to me, I commend you all. Thank you. I am so excited that your numbers are going up because we need them to go up because these are generational investments.
Yeah. And I think, when you talk about investing dollars, we're investing in people and investing in you and in your futures. And I think it's just terrific to have you come back and show us what you're doing, what you're learning, talking about what you're learning is just fabulous. So thank you for that, both of you, and to the principal and to the teacher and to T Street. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Pending any questions, I ask for your approval of this resolution.
I'll move approval of 8/19/18.
Second.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 819-18 has been adopted. Resolution number 820-18. Resolution approving 2 subaward agreements with the Columbus Urban League and Dress for Success Columbus for workforce suiting programs in amount of $125,000.
Commissioners, women referred to Dress for Success are able to access professional development training, soft skills workshops, and one-on-one career counseling, interview training, and more through Dress for Success. Over the last contract, Dress for Success suited approximately 500 women, while My Brother's Closet assisted approximately 120 men. Under the proposed agreement, Dress for Success will target 450 eligible women, and My Brother's Closet reach approximately 140 men again. Pending any questions, I would ask for your approval of this resolution.
I'll move approval of 8/20/18.
Second.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 820-18 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Economic Development Planning.
Resolution number 821-18, review a petition to annex 1.957 acres from Franklin Township to the City of Columbus, case number ANX 23-18.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jenny Snap, Assistant Director, Economic Development and Planning, joined this morning by Jamie Edwards, our Business Services Officer.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This resolution is to consider an expedited Type 2 annexation petition of 1.957 acres from Franklin Township to the City of Columbus. The area to be annexed includes property located at 1929 Brown Road, 1100 Frank Road, 3 parcels on Frank Road that do not have addresses, 1200 Frank Road, 1264 Frank Road. This property is north of Frank Road, west of Brown Road and I-71, east of Harrisburg Pike, and south of Marsdale Avenue. Petition was filed by agent and attorney Jackson B. Reynolds III, who is in attendance if you have any questions, on behalf of the property owner Neil Yassin. 52.4% of the site's perimeter is contiguous with Columbus, and the city passed ordinance number 3007-2018 on November 5th, 2018, indicating the services that would be provided once the annexation is approved and a statement regarding incompatible land uses in the zoning buffer. The petition meets all statutory requirements outlined in section 709.021 of the Ohio Revised Code, and pending any questions, we request your approval.
I'll move approval of 8/20/18.
21.
8/21/18.
Second.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 821-18 has been adopted. Resolution number 822-18, resolution authorizing the Board of Franklin County Commissioners to sign the attached discharge of mortgage instrument for Marie Penrod at 2408 North Glen Drive, Columbus, Ohio 43224.
Commissioners, Marie Penrod received $15,000 in May of 2007. All obligations of the housing program have been fulfilled and the mortgage should be discharged. The taxes are paid in current. Pending any questions, I request your approval.
Move approval of 8/22/18.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 822-18 has been adopted. Resolution number 823-18, resolution authorizing the Board of Franklin County Commissioners to sign the attached discharge of mortgage instrument for Paul Pilkington at 2170 Melrose Avenue, Columbus, Ohio 43224.
Paul Pilkington received $15,000 in November of 2008. All obligations of the housing program have been fulfilled and the mortgage should be discharged. The taxes are paid in current. Pending any questions, I request your approval.
Move approval of 8/23/18.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 823-18 has been adopted. Resolution number 824-18, resolution authorizing the Board of Franklin County Commissioners to sign the attached discharge of mortgage instrument for Gary and Gail Falk at 1767 Stouter Drive, Reynoldsburg, Ohio 43068.
Gary and Gail Falk received $15,000 in December of 2012. All obligations of the housing program have been fulfilled and the mortgage should be discharged. The taxes are paid in current. Pending any questions, I request your approval.
Move approval of 8/24/18.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 824-18 has been adopted. Resolution number 825-18, resolution authorizing the Board of Franklin County Commissioners to sign the attached discharge of mortgage instrument for Lewis and Wanda Haynes at 354 Kessler Street, Groveport, Ohio 43125.
Lewis and Wanda Haynes received $15,000 in July of 2008. All obligations of the housing program have been fulfilled and the mortgage should be discharged. The taxes are paid in current. Pending any questions, I request your approval.
Move approval of 8/25/18.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 825-18 has been adopted. Resolution number 826-18, resolution authorizing the Board of Franklin County Commissioners to sign the attached discharge of mortgage instrument for Melania Crockett at 4648 Berkshire Drive, Columbus, Ohio 43232.
Melena Crockett received $3,654 in December of 2009. All obligations of the housing program have been fulfilled and the mortgage should be discharged. The taxes are paid in current. Pending any questions, I request your approval.
Move approval of 8/26/18.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 826-18 has been adopted. Resolution number 827-18, resolution authorizing the Board of Franklin County Commissioners to sign the attached discharge of mortgage instrument for Constance Turley at 4284 Mayflower Boulevard, Whitehall, Ohio 43123.
Constance Turley received $15,000 in October of 1999. All obligations of the housing program have been fulfilled and the mortgage should be discharged. The taxes are paid in current. Pending any questions, I request your approval.
Move for passage of 8/27/18.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 827-18 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. PFM?
Resolution number 828-18, resolution authorizing recycling of information technology equipment declared obsolete by the Franklin County Automatic Data Processing Board.
Good morning, Commissioners. Darla Reardon, Director, Public Facilities Management. Periodically, this agency is asked by the Data Processing Board to assist with the disposal of obsolete surplus IT equipment. We do so in a manner consistent with the Board's commitment to promote sustainable principles in our policy decisions and programs. Pending any questions, we request your approval to dispose of this e-waste.
Move approval of 8/28/18.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 828-18 has been adopted. Resolution number 829-18, resolution declaring personal property as unneeded, obsolete, or unfit and not needed for public use and authorizing the sale of said items via internet auction.
This resolution will declare personal property, specifically a mail star inserter from the print shop, as obsolete and not needed, and authorizes the sale via internet auction at govdeals.com. In the event no bid is received, the item will be made available for recycling and disposed of in a sustainable manner. Pending any questions, we request your approval of this resolution.
Move approval of 82918.
Second.
Moved in second in voting, Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 829-18 has been adopted. Resolution number 830-18, resolution authorizing a contract agreement with OCP Contractors Incorporated to perform acoustical and drywall work activities associated with the construction of the Franklin County Correction Center in the amount of $5,337,770.
Also joining me today is Dr. Bill Lafayette of Regionomics LLC, who will provide a summary of the economic impact study he conducted for this resolution, which authorizes a contract agreement with OCP Contractors, Inc. to perform acoustical and drywall work activities for the new Franklin County Correction Center. 3 bids were received, and OCP was the low bidder. OCP Contractors is a local firm and is signatory to Carpenters Local 200 in Columbus. Up to 16 jobs are anticipated to be created as part of this contract at peak. OCP has committed to 9.19%, approximately $491,000 in diversity participation from one minority business enterprise material supplier on its SEBE utilization plan. OCP will continue to explore opportunities to identify additional participation. OCP Contractors has demonstrated it has the capacity, experience, and ability to complete the required work. The project owner's representative, Pizzuti Solutions, and the project's construction manager, Gilbane Smoot, are both supportive of this contract award. I will now turn it over to Dr. Lafayette to present his summary of the economic impact of this resolution. Then, pending any questions, we request your approval of this contract agreement.
Good morning, Commissioners, and thanks for having me back. I've analyzed the economic impact of the OCP Contractors bid, and as usual, I've given you a memo that includes the details of the impact. It totals $8.6 million in Franklin County production and spending, including impacts from the projected spending with local suppliers and the spending of wages earned by households. Household earnings impacts total $2.2 million. An average of nearly 50 full-time and part-time jobs will be sustained throughout the county's economy, and there will be nearly $5.1 million in long-term value added to the county's economy. In other words, an increase in the county's GDP. All construction impacts, as usual, are temporary. They last only as long as the direct spending lasts. Of these totals, the amount due to the participation of small and emerging businesses totals $816,000 in output, $207,000 in earnings, 4 jobs, and $481,000 in value added. The impacts in general on this contract are especially large because both OCP and the small business associated with it are local. Impacts to date on all contracts are $203.3 million in production and spending, $50.2 million in earnings, 960 jobs sustained, and $118.2 million in long-term value added to the county's economy. Around 21% of that total comes from and through SEBEs. Thank you.
Thank you.
And your offices should have the full report, since there wasn't briefing in our usual summary of the contracts.
We do.
This is helpful. Thank you. I'll move for approval of 83018.
Second.
Moved in second in voting, Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 830-18 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Resolution number 831-18, resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $1,191,272.01.
Morning, Commissioners. Carl Cuthbert, Director of Purchasing. Resolution before you for approval of 112 purchase orders for small emerging business enterprises. There were 65 eligible purchase orders, of which 13 went to SEBEs, which equals 20% of the eligible purchase order volume. Their purchase order dollar amount is $29,043.46, of which is 72% of the eligible purchase order dollar value. Eligible purchase orders are those where the SEBEs are likely to participate. These purchase orders have been pre-certified as availability funds by the county auditor. If any questions, I recommend their approval.
Move approval of 831-18.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 831-18 has been adopted.
Thank you. Are there any generalizations?
Yes, Commissioner, there's 5 of them today. All of them from Franklin County Economic Development and Planning. Case number ANX 25-18, an expedited type 2 annexation petition was filed with the Franklin County Economic Development and Planning Department on November 20th. The petition is requesting to annex 2.715 acres from Perry Township to the City of Columbus. The petition will be considered by the Board of Commissioners on January 3rd, 2019. Case number ANX 26-18, an expedited type 2 annexation petition was filed with the Franklin County Economic Development and Planning Department on November 20th, 2018. The petition is requesting to annex 1.369 acres from Perry Township to the City of Columbus. The petition will be considered by the Board of Commissioners on January 3rd, 2019. Case number ANX 27-18, an expedited type 2 annexation petition was filed with the Franklin County Economic Development and Planning Department on November 20th, 2018. The petition is requesting to annex 33.73 acres from Madison Township to the City of Columbus. The petition will be considered by the Board of Commissioners on January 3rd, 2019. Case number ANX 28-18, an expedited type 2 annexation was filed with the Franklin County Economic Development and Planning Department on November 20th, 2018. The petition is requesting to annex 54.8 acres from Hamilton Township to the City of Columbus. The petition will be considered by the Board of Commissioners on January 3rd, 2019. And lastly, Commissioner, case number ANX-29-18, an expedited type 2 annexation petition was filed with the Franklin County Economic Development and Planning Department on November 21st, 2018. The petition is requesting to annex 6.03 acres from Mifflin Township to the City of Columbus. The petition will be considered by the Board of Commissioners on January 3rd, 2019. That is all, Commissioner.
Thank you. If there are no further comments, questions, or business, that concludes our meeting. We'll give 5 minutes transition time for the budget hearing.